Okay, folks, it was a Sunday evening when I saw this stream. I pretty much couldn't help but see the stream because it was boxing, granted amateur boxing, but it was pretty much fed on my feed. Tipster have talked about it or pretty much live streamed it on his Twitch channel. Other people was talking about it, and at first I was saying, okay, well, it's two YouTubers I never heard of, or I'm assuming it's YouTubers. I know for some people who are big fans of them, they know them left and right and pretty much have watched this. And I was like, okay, this is pretty much the same thing as KSI and the Logan Paul situation. At least I'm assuming that's what that is. But I was curious. It was a free stream. I decided to take a look at it, and don't regret seeing it. But I do have a lot to talk about in terms of the quality of how this stream was, because Jesus Christ. Oh, this was tough. This was tough. I mean, quality wise, wow. I mean, I guess you get what you pay for when it comes to these kind of things. Before I get started, let me give my hats. Let me just tip my cap off to the two people involved in this thing. I don't know how they got involved. I don't know what beef they had, what they did to work up the fight, but I want to give the respect where respect is due to both Fuzi, who lost, by the way, and I will explain why he lost, and Slim. Now, keep in mind, I've never seen any of their channels. Again, I don't know what led to this boxing match. I understand this was supposed to be a charity fight, whatever, but I gotta give them respect. They went into the ring, they handled their business. They're both amateurs, but the fact that they came in the ring and did what they did shows a lot of courage between both people, especially Fuji, who, let's be honest, was really getting, a beat down pretty badly, and still managed to come out and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go out swinging," and that's exactly what he did. But again, these two guys really, I give them a lot of respect. And for those who want to criticize these people for being in a boxing match, they're not trained boxers, they're not professional boxers. This was amateur, and it was very clear it was amateur from the looks of it. All I gotta say is, if you want to criticize them for this, all I gotta say is get in the ring and see how well you do with someone who pretty much have the same experience or even more experience. I guarantee you have more better respect for the sport of boxing and the arts of boxing than what you originally came out to be. And I think these two guys brought up a better appreciation for the sport of boxing before it's said and done. Now, there were some things that I did not like in this boxing match. A little bit of poor sportsmanship. I've seen a little bit of illegal tactics, if I gotta say in more polite words. But overall, I thought these guys did, put up a show and give them credit where credit's due. With that being said, this stream was absolutely horrible. There is simply no excuse for having this stream like this. The audio was bad. The camera work was ferocious. Half the time I didn't even know what was the minute mark. I know just from looking at it again, there was actually a timer on this, but at the time I didn't even realize what it looks like, because there's so much on this damn thing that the timer, the one thing that you think will actually be more visible, was pretty much shrunk by everything else. The only good thing I can say about this fight was the commentators was entertaining. The British commentators, the guys from the UK, I'm assuming they are, was actually fun to listen to, and they actually made it fun to listen to. But Jesus, man, did they have almost nothing to work with? They really pulled out a miracle to actually keep me invested into what was going on, because because I don't know who was in production of this, but it was just absolute dead right horrible. And I'm not just talking about the camera work. I'm talking about the referee. Which, let's be honest, I've never thought I'd seen a worse batch of officiating in my life. I thought I was watching a wrestling match the way that referee was officiating. I expect some kind of professionalism. And once I saw the referee dancing in the ring before the match even got started, doing between rounds, I knew it was in for a very long, very, very painful viewing. And it really was. I gotta say right now, this was not this was not good quality at all. And before anybody says, yeah, I know it's amateur, But even Logan Paul and KSR had better quality than this. Say what you want about that fight. At least it felt like you was watching a professional fight from the production angle. This was just absolutely bad, and there's no excuse for this. Really, no excuse for that. The referee, I'm assuming he's a referee. I'm not too sure. But he made some moves. I'm still scratching my head to this day. Because from what I understand, a knockdown, when somebody gets on their knees, if their knees touch the ground or their hand touch the ground, that's considered a knockdown. He was calling knockdowns, and I'm still saying how he got knocked out, giving him a standing 8 count. Now, if I'm wrong, if there was some rule in amateur boxing or even professional boxing that you guys know, especially those who follow the sport religiously, if you feel that the referee did the job right, then please let me know in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to have that conversation. But to me, this was, it's just inexcusable. And to top it all off, there were times where you could have sworn, even the announcers, you could have sworn that he was going to stop the fight. He thought that the fight should have been stopped, and it wasn't stopped. It wasn't until someone who was wise enough and smart enough to see that that their man Fuzi was not doing what he was supposed to do and was getting decimated in that ring. Yes, I said it, decimated. Then they actually threw the towel and end the match. It was the right decision. It was the wise decision. And let me explain this. Yes, I'm aware. I've seen the matches you already had, headgear. Headgears don't mean nothing. Football players have headgears. Doesn't stop them from getting head force trauma or long-term effects of head injuries. And this is something that I think people need to understand. Head injuries are very real. And sometimes you don't feel the effects until way, way down the road. For those who are thinking that this should be like a Rocky Balboa experience and let them go at it, first of all, you don't know nothing about boxing. And number two, this is not fantasy. This is reality. And the way that Fuji was fighting there, the way he was refusing to block, which was being the key essence here, that it was trauma waiting to happen. And the fact that referee didn't stop it when he was supposed to stop it in round 3 really says something about that officiating. I'm just saying. But in all, I tip my caps to these guys. They came out, handled their business, and I gotta give them respect for that. That this video is not to bash on them too. Like I said, they got more guts to go in that ring and do what they did than most people who talk trash, and that's all they got. And by the way, that actually did happen at one time, where it was supposed to be a boxing match. I think Annie Warski was supposed to fight some dude who never showed up. At least these two guys showed up and they put up a show, and I give them respect for that. Now, let me get on to the other aspects of this situation. Fuzi probably had the worst trainers I have ever seen. Because somebody should have told Fuzi that haymakers in boxing will never really win. If you just throw haymakers and you're not blocking and you're not strategizing of your opponent and you're letting your opponent dictate the fight, you're going to lose. And that's exactly what happened. Sim, who really, if you look at both of these boxers pound for pound, has a weight disadvantage. Sim has a complete weight disadvantage. There's no question about it. And in the first round, which took forever to start, because one, again, the amateur hour is definitely there. None of these guys had their helmet, not had their headgear on when they came in that ring. I would assume that you're supposed to have everything ready to go before you go in that ring, but nope, they put their headgears in the ring. Makes no sense. You had the announcers talking to somebody in the crowd like I really care what they're doing. And then you have Mr. Breakdance referee over here dancing over here. And I'm like wondering, are we going to get to this fight? You're wasting 10, 15 minutes here. Can we please get to the fight? Fight started, and to my surprise, Fuji actually went out swinging. He just basically was connecting, and these were very strong connects. And I was like, whoa, this woke me up a little bit. I said, okay, well, we're going to get to see something, if the camera allows it. No, it was up. It was at one point where I thought he scored a knockdown, but thanks to the poor shoddy camera work, I couldn't tell. Turns out it was just simply a slip. Again, bad camera work. I didn't see it, but the announcers did say it was slip. It didn't was not count. But as soon as that slip happened, you saw the eyes of determination. You saw the eyes of the hatred, which I did see for a brief minute. Slim started hitting left and right, hitting him in the head, and I'm asking myself, yeah, so are you going to block, or are you going to just let this guy continue pounding you? Because you're not blocking, and that's not good. It was like that throughout round 2, round 3, round 4. Round 4 being the final round. They had enough and tossed to the side. But I'm going through round for round. That's how I seen it. Again, Fuji, when he was connecting with hard hits. But he was also missing a lot because he was swinging for the fences. Whereas for Sims, he was staggering, but he was able to get back to. He was able to calm himself down, settle down, and he made every hit counts. So, very, very interesting how that was. How that actually transpired. Round 2, pretty much the same. He went out again. Fuji went out swinging. Did a few connects, but so did Sim. And Sim's connects was more powerful than Fuji. In fact, Fuji was getting the brunt of the beating more so than anything else. He was taking hard hits, but it was Slim who was getting those connects more than he did because he was swinging for the fences. And it showed. I mean, the time they actually showed a close-up of these opponents, you can see the difference. Fuji was already bleeding. He was already messed up. He was already bruised. Sims didn't look like he got touched at all. And again, there was a couple of times where the mouthpiece went off. They had to stop the fight for briefly, put the mouthpiece on. That's fine. But when you take a look at each round, for every time Fuji was swinging and was swinging hard, Sims was keeping himself balanced and basically hitting pretty much with his long range arm. And that was another thing. The man had a range where he can keep Fuji at bay. There was a knockdown that was counted. I don't know how. Again, if you guys can explain this to me, I'd be more than happy to hear you later in the comment section. But I assume a knockdown is when the person gets knocked down. When Sims in the first round got knocked down, was ruled a slip. Fine. But there were at least 2 knockdowns that I counted. So the referee started to do a standing 8 count, and I'm like, he wasn't not on the floor. Why did you stop the fight? This doesn't make no sense. Now again, maybe this is just the amateur way of doing things. If you guys want to correct me, I will have no problem hearing you guys, but to me, it was just weird officiating. Round 3 again, it was pretty much the same. Oh, and even the announcer saying he's not blocking, he's not doing anything. You can tell by some of the trainers, they was getting a little mad. But I was more mad at the trainers because did you teach this guy how to do strategy? Did you teach this guy how to block? It's not always about punching and hitting. And if he's doing the same one, who's getting in his ear? Because it's not like he's not. No one's giving him any advice or any coaching advice. It just is him going for the fences. Now, granted, Sim wasn't doing too hot either when it comes to those swings, but the difference was he was able to keep him at bay with his hits and count it. Another thing is, because of Fuji swinging all over the damn place, he tired himself out. That's another thing people don't realize. When you see these guys breathing, that's because they're tiring themselves out. They're swinging heavy hits. These ain't no minor hits. And his aggressiveness pretty much wore him out. In round 3, I'm going to be right. He should have lost that round. He should have lost in round 3. Because at that point, Slim was just hitting him left and right all over the place where he wasn't even defending himself. The only thing, he should have been knocked down. If he wasn't in that corner, he would have been knocked on the floor. And for some reason, the referee didn't call for the bell. I thought it was over. Even the announcers thought it was over. It was kind of weird. Again, a standing 8 count. And the first thing I'm saying is, what is this referee doing? I did not like the officiating at all in this fight. I really did. Fourth round came in, same thing. After a while, even the announcer said it was getting painful to watch. I will say this, with Fuzi, he kept going. He was trying. I mean, I give him that. He wasn't giving up. But after seeing constantly getting hits, shots after shot after shot, his corner finally said, okay, enough is enough. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. Let's throw in the towel and get it over with. And that's it. Fight was over. No, at the end of the day, despite that stupid cheap shot I've seen, at the end of the day, they both hugged it out. And, a charity, I think it was Feed the Family for a Month charity. I think they accomplished their goal. Again, I got nothing but respect for these two men, and that's pretty much on this level. I don't know their videos. I will never probably watch their videos. It's just it depends on what they do. I probably will check it out if somebody would actually tell me what they are. They're never on my feed. This was on my feed because Tipster is on my feed. He was the one that was streaming it, and I said, let me just see it for myself, see what's going on. The match is not long; it's 30 minutes, so it wasn't gonna kill me for 30 minutes. But that 30 minutes, those guys earn my respect, hands down, for what they went and did, and how they did it. Because again, that's a dangerous sport. That in UFC or any contact sport like that, and you did it for charity. My respects go to you. Simple as that. I just wish that the quality of the ref officiating, the quality of whoever these trainers on was up to par, and the camera work. I'm gonna get to the camera work because I left it last. This, I am those, those television shows you see on YouTube channel have better quality than this. This was terrible. There was this time where I think it was round 3 or 4. It doesn't really matter. Where they were going back and forth on the boxers' faces, back and forth, like it was changing the channel. There was click surfing. Instead of being at one corner, hearing what the person was talking to, they'd be in the other corner, hear what the other person's talking to, and stay there for a few moments. Now, this was the one time it was going back and forth, and it was like making me sick. And then you had the situation with the ending, where they did the same thing. I'm like, is this? Are you guys in college? Is this your first time actually working the cameras, actually working how to edit? Because this was terrible. But then again, I should have known that was going to happen too, because in the beginning of this boxing match, the announcer was saying that you can see the look of intensity and hatred in these guys' faces, and the camera not once turned into their faces. It just stood in one frame, far away where you can't even see these guys' faces. This should have been streamed better. As simple as that. Forget about the two amateurs. I respect amateurs. I respect amateur style boxing. That's something that goes with territory. These guys are not professional. But I still respect it better from what I saw in that stream. This stream was not well done. This was a horrible stream. Now maybe some people said it was not because it was in the UK and probably I don't want to hear that. That's not an excuse. The fight between Logan Paul and KSI was not in the US. And they had a better streaming service than that. The quality should have been better. Simple as that. Have you seen the boxing match? If you guys, by the way, it is Fuji 2 versus Slim. It is on YouTube. You can actually look it up. You gotta be specific though, because there are a lot of channels actually reacting to this fight. Tipster is one of them. So it's a good fight in terms of what these guys have done. They did it for charity. Congratulations to both of them. Streaming wise, oh boy. Oh boy. I don't know what to tell you. Folks, some sad news. One of the cast members of Karate Kid / Cobra Kai passed away. He played, I believe, Tommy. Yes, it was Tommy. In fact, it was him. The name escapes me, so I don't want to make his name, make him wrong, make a mistake on his name. Sorry. out of respect for him. But he was the one that had the infamous quote, "Put him in a body bag," which became a meme for years. People have quoted that as the as the ultimate theme for the Karate Kid. He came back in a special, and I consider it to be the best episode of Cobra Kai season 2, when they went on a biker trip. Had a good scene of them showing themselves. They still got what it takes fighting in the bar, and probably have one of the emotional scenes of Tommy and Johnny sitting together, reminiscing and talking, and pretty much giving him very, very strong advice. I consider that to be one of the best of the series, and it really showed the human side of both of these characters and how far they've grown. The show, of course, ended on a sad note because Tommy did died, and so, ironically, they put him in the body bag down there. A lot of people said they would not use that meme anymore because of that scene. It was an emotional, sad scene, but now I think that scene, that meme will actually finally be put to rest. Especially hearing of his passing. Now, strangely enough, nobody knew he was actually sick. I'm pretty sure that those close to him knew, because again, they were actually good friends off the camera. But in terms of the cause of death, they said he was battling some kind of illness, and he has succumbed to that illness because he has been admitted to the hospital, and where he actually had passed away. What's more ironic about it is that he has not been in films for a long time. He have actually stopped being in movies ever since the iconic role of Karate Kid. So this was actually his first return to the big screen, and now sadly it's last. And the only reason why I'm really talking about it is because, again, because I made a pretty much conscious oath not to really talk about those who have passed unless it's like a major event. But because he's one of those actors that will probably never be mentioned. Probably very few diehard fans will probably mention him, but probably not those who have or their job is supposed to report the entertainment news. That's their job. He was 59 years old when he passed away, which is amazing, and it makes me forget how old some of these actors were when they actually started in the Karate Kid. Ralph Macchio was in his 20s when he played the Karate Kid Part 1, and he didn't look nothing like in his 20s. So much for an adult playing a teenager. If you got the look, and by God bless, he was actually, I think he was in his 30s when he did Karate Kid Part 3, and that both take place after 1 and 2. Was a little bit out of shape, but he was actually still had his boyish looks. And I believe he's 56 now, so still look good for his age, I will say that. So a lot of these actors, they're in their 50s. They still look good. They still can play the part. The guy who plays John Reese is one of my favorite actors because I've seen a lot of his movies. He's in his 70s. Man, he looks good. If I live long enough to see him be in my 70s and I look like that, I'm happy. I'll die a happy man. But yeah, I wanted to give him a little bit of a shout out here because again, it's highly unlikely that that the entertainment world will give him that shout out. So there you go. Another passing, if you are a wrestling fan, and this is how ironic this is because lately they've been doing a documentary on the fake Diesel, fake Razor Ramon, and I did not know that the fake Diesel was actually Isaac Yankup, who was actually right now Kane, and now the governor, I believe, of Tennessee. So congratulations to him. He had a great success, but for Razor Ramon, the fake Razor Ramon, not so much. And I don't blame neither of these guys for something of a bad gimmick that was forced upon them. This was a bad idea from the start. I think anybody who have known about this should have realized this was bad. It was an ego. It was, I'll prove to you that the image is more important than the man playing the image kind of thing, and it backfired royally. Strangely enough, I did not know this actually was a thing. I was told about it. I refused to believe that Vince McMahon would be that cold and just that vindictive that he would actually try and put someone else in the role of Diesel and Razor Ramon and think that was not that's going to go through with his fans. I think sometimes he thinks that he's running a Hollywood set and forget that people still go to watch wrestling, and There are certain characters you just simply can't replace. But he tried and failed and never tried again. But the one who really felt the brunt of it, and I felt undeservedly so, was fake Razor Ramon. It wasn't his fault. I felt if they would have given him a job as the man that he was originally designed to be, before he got there, he probably would have did well. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. Now, he did manage to get his life together after a few bumps and bruises. I understand he became a motivational speaker. I was watching these videos on it, and no sooner did I watch the last one from Wrestling Bio, because that was the last one that really dove into the Diesel Razor Ramon fiasco that has happened when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash left WWF at the time, is when we got news that he passed away not too long ago, like 24 hours ago. It was crazy. It was like, Jesus, what about a crazy coincidence that happened? And I was really, very heartbroken to hear that. I was very, very heartbroken to hear that he died. He was in his 40s when he passed away. So may he rest in peace. But it's very eerie that we see all these fake Diesels and Razor Ramon videos coming out, and next thing you know, the person who played Razor Ramon has passed. It's kind of weird of that. It really is. But I did want to bring that too out in general. It is a slow entertainment week. I wanted to get Entertainment Roundup up and running. Like I said, I can talk about wrestling if you want. The CM Punk thing, I just wish they just die out. I'm getting tired of these rumors. I really am. You know, the guy, he's coming to the ECW. He's not coming to ECW. He's going to be a part of WWF. He's not going to be a part of WWF. Can we all agree, until we see a physical evidence, meaning that we see him on our screen, he makes a roused appearance either on ECW's television or WWE's television, can we say that he's retired from the business? Can we say that, please? Can we? I'm tired of hearing he's coming. If he was coming, he would have been here by now. It's been 5 years. Can the man live his life? He's having fun. Leave him alone. Just let him go. I understand people want to see him in the ring. I like to see him in the ring. To many, he's the last big draw that WWE ever had. The one that actually people would have tuned in and watched. That's how charismatic he was. That's how big of a star he was. But if he feels that he doesn't want to go back in the ring again, it makes no sense to spark rumors and hope he may come back. He'll come back when he's ready. And when he's ready, I'm pretty sure the fans will embrace him like always. But until then, I don't want to hear anything else about CM Punk. I really don't. Now, there was one thing that caught my attention. I'll probably talk about it on Wednesday, but according to this, he actually won a lawsuit. I'm actually going to get into it because it did pop on my screen, but I didn't have a chance to read it. So I will read that, see what that is all about, and I may just talk about that because that's a different thing altogether. He had a couple of lawsuits, so this is actually, I believe, the lawsuit number 2. But until I get an actual idea in terms of him coming back to wrestling, no matter what company he decided to go, I'm not going to talk about it. Right now, it's just window dressing. It's just rumors. Well, that's it for the Entertainment Roundup today. It's a little bit slow as usual, but I did want to talk about this interesting boxing fight. I wanted to say my condolences to the 2 actors, or 1 actor, 1 wrestler, and just give me my little 2 cents on CM Punk. I will pretty much be back on Wednesday. I do have another video recorded that will be pretty much posted on Thursday. But until next time, guys, it's Jason 77. Take care, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.